Good afternoon on what is a cool, bright and sunny day. It is Friday the 16th of September. I have a big stack of parcels to unbox and a nice hot cup of tea. And I'm going to continue unboxing this. So inside here, what I've got is that, which is this. Strict time records must be kept. It's a scenario for Lamentations of the Flame Princess, weird fantasy role-playing published by Lamentations of the Flame Princess. So it's an old school Renaissance style scenario and will work with other retro clones of your choice. So it promises a dinner date with death. Staying with friends is supposed to be fun and relaxing, but what if the friend doses you with a slow-acting and fatal poison as part of a demented game for the perverse amusement of wealthy people? That's the problem the player characters must solve while trapped miles from help, surrounded by bastards, confounded by puzzles and traps, and with every minute bringing them closer to a horrible and messy demise. Strict time records must be kept as an adventure for Lamentations of the Flame Princess, weird fantasy role-playing, and other traditional role-playing games. For the most meaningful campaign, the adventure is recommended for characters of up to 3rd level. Okay, strict time records must be kept. It was written by Kelvin who wrote Forgive Us, Fish Lovers, More Than Meets the Eye, Midwinter, Green Messiah, and Terror in the Streets. So it's a handsome little hardback. Inside you've got a time tracker because that's absolutely necessary, because you've got a countdown to death. Because the players are suffering from poison, and that's their eventual situation. Death stalking them. What's this adventure about? Player characters are staying at the remote estate of a physician who is at least an acquaintance, maybe even a friend. They are perhaps recovering from exertions of a recent adventure. At dinner that one evening, their host announces that they have all been poisoned, they have only a few hours to live, and the only antidote has been hidden somewhere in the estate. He also tells the characters that he and his wealthy friends will follow the characters, watching as they try to survive, because something voyeurism, something decadent in modern society. So we get it. So we've got a timed adventure countdown to death. We've all got a section called, what's it called? Flails now? What now? So I don't know what that's about. Talking about digital agreements and so on, online playing, and the doctor's house where this takes place is full of tricks and traps, and you've got a guidance here to how to be a master of time, essentially handling the time of what's happening for the benefit of the referee. The effects of the poison. I got the poison. And there are various difficulty modes, so poison delayed, poison neutralised, and dead. I've got the remedy and the antidote, and you've got numerous options and ideas for that as well. So it's quite flexible. Obviously, you've got, within that setup, different options that the player characters can be involved in. And then we have the details of the doctor, and he can be randomised as well. It does have that problem initially if you're going to use it as straight as written without any kind of campaign framework or background or play. Sort of like, okay, you go to dinner, you've been ill, he poisons you, okay, and you never trust an NPC again. And then we have the spectators who will be watching you as you go through. And I'm hoping there's going to be some kind of made to sort of like, just stopping the player characters, just going, I've had enough of this, we're going to search for it and then we're going to kill you. Or at least kill them whilst it's ongoing. So we have a discussion with the spectators, who they are and their illustrations, and essentially that they are playing a sick game with the player characters. And it sort of takes on the elements of Squid Game there. And then the staff have to put up with their guests, who are going to be fumbling around this house looking for the antidote. And then Mannequin 3 with the vengeance, essentially. So we're going to have presumably this is going to be sort of like a one of the faceless spectators who's going to be doing more than just spectating. She's going to be participating and handling up the knife. And then we have a new spell, Mannequin, on the move. So literally, we have a faceless one going after the player characters. Setup: we have a dinner date with death, lots of death. Some would say the dinner dates are death, but that's all entirely up to you. And then we have the location. Essentially, the idea sort of like this is a mansion or hunting lodge, sort of like located up a hill. And once you've sort of like solved the problem, want to get around and get down, sort of get away, you've got the problem getting down, and you've got this sort of nice illustration stroke which depicts the sort of the kind of distance that the player character will have to travel. And the various locations outside of the house. And then we go on to the estate itself, dealing with the chapel, a deep rocky cleft, a murky pond, the stump, and so on. So that's the surrounding areas. And then, yes, it goes on, let's go cottaging, and actually refers to a set of cottages, not the other meaning. And then the layout of the big house and its various levels, floors, and then going down. So it starts off with the attic, first floor, and so on. Nice clear maps. I'm not sure they're quite done in the order you probably would have wanted. But these are sort of like closer excerpts of this larger map here. So yeah, and then we get on to somebody actually looking presumably for the antidote ground floor. So we actually have a ground floor and first floor. So this is definitely a European house, and then more watchers, presumably, unless there's a strange alien bug creature going to be hunting them. And then we have more images of the signature character for Lamentations of the Flame Princess, weird fantasy role-playing game. Of course, the Flame Princess hunting for the antidote, pistol in hand, overwatched by some portrait of a woman with a raven. The cellar. And that's done in very detail, as continuing on the same style. Before we've got the caves below. And mysteries down there with literally the writings on the wall. And then appendix, we've got an appendix of artwork. So we have the Flame Princess, a locked vault, complete with timers on, basically with multiple different dials, to vague nasty encounter, a puzzle box, a la Hellraiser, terrible cave. Here's the clues to the Dora Explorer. Not forgiving you for that one. Terrible pun. I like a good pun. That's a terrible pun. And then bookmarks. And then we have a reference to a meme. We have a blank page. This page has been left blank, so if you're in fact some sort of maniac and you want to cut holes in your book, you at least won't lose any information, you nutter. And there's a meme, is sort of like the sort of commentator or historian who sort of like he goes, basically it was aliens, and they've done that as artwork. and then you've got an appendix of NPCs, various characters, so on, and then an afterword from the author. So yeah, strict time records must be kept, which is essentially a lock room countdown scenario wherein the player characters could die. This is kind of a screw you sort of scenario, and that's perfectly kind of keeping with some styles of old school and Renaissance play and scenarios, and certainly Lamentations of the Weird, Flame Princess Weird Fantasy Role Playing does that. So it's perfectly in keeping. So it's otherwise it's kind of a difficult scenario to drop into a campaign. You know, because one thing it does is sort of like it just cements that level of distrust about the world around them. But it's perfectly in keeping, sort of like you know, with the distrust of the wealthy, and you know, they've got the money to basically set up and target some adventurers for their own amusement. So yeah, that strict time records must be kept from Lamentations of the Flame Princess. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook. If you have, please click on the like button down below, and of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, I appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to yet more unboxings in the Nook, where you'll see me out here with a parcel containing a book or game which I will unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea, then please do hit that subscribe button down below. In the meantime, thanks again for watching. I'll be back again soon with another unboxing in the Nook. Bye for now.